Tonight, on the hunt for their prime suspect, Sarnia police released a new image of an accused gunman, warning he has ties to London. Plus, an EpiPen alternative.
This is the ability to have a life-saving device available on you that's easy to administer.
No needle necessary when dealing with an anaphylactic emergency. And Rock the Runway, running the 90s. The latest headliners announced for this year's Airport Festival.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with an update from Sarnia police releasing a new image of a person they've identified as their main suspect in last week's fatal Lambton College shooting. According to police, this is Kyaw Chin Do from London. He's charged with second-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. Police say he's currently on the run, potentially altering his appearance and clothing. The shooting happened early Friday morning outside a Lambton College bar. 20-year-old Dane Nisbet was fatally shot, and 2 other people he was with were injured. Police say they've arrested 3 people so far, but they've identified Doe as the main gunman. London city officials say the intersection at Highbury and Huron should reopen tomorrow following a significant water main break. They say repairs wrapped up today, but the new asphalt needs time to properly cool before traffic can resume. A large sinkhole had opened up early Tuesday morning after an older cast iron pipe burst. City officials say the intersection should be open again by 8 a.m. Thursday. Animal advocates testified before a provincial committee this afternoon supporting government legislation to end the use of cats and dogs in invasive experiments.
So as drafted, the bill prohibits, quote, invasive medical research on cats and dogs. We propose deleting the word medical to clarify further the intent is not simply to ban medical research, but all invasive research on cats and dogs.
Other recommendations include ensuring pets can't be subject to veterinary research and ending transferring animals from municipal pounds to animal experimenters. The proposed changes come after the Premier pledged to end research on dogs and cats following media reports covering dog testing at St. Joseph's Healthcare here in London last year. Representatives say if these provisions are passed, Ontario would become the first province to ban invasive experiments on dogs and cats.
Too often, this is hidden behind closed doors, and I think this bill is proof that when that comes to light, people want to do good things for animals.
London police say 11 tow trucks were taken off the road after a 2-day enforcement blitz. According to police, it was a joint operation with Transportation Ministry officials visiting local towing businesses in March. Police say more than 300 provincial offense notices were issued, with some of the charges related to record keeping and failing to comply with regulations. Police say there's also an element of public awareness to this initiative.
The most important part for the public to know is that when they're involved in a collision, there's no tow that you have to take. It's your decision. So when you're involved in this, you have to call the tow to come there. No tow truck operator or driver can attend the scene and solicit your business. They're not allowed within 200 meters unless you call them. So just protect yourself and make sure you're picking the tow of your choice.
RCMP officials say they've dismantled an active synthetic drug lab near Norwich. The Mounties say officers raided a business back in January where they found $300,000 worth of the drug GHB. According to police, they also located 1,000 kilograms of chemicals that could be used to produce millions of dollars worth of drugs. And a 41-year-old man from Delhi now faces several charges. Elgin OPP say they've charged 4 people accused of carrying out a targeted robbery in West Lorne. Police say they executed 4 warrants last week across Elgin County, locating drugs and several guns. Police say 2 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries during the robbery back in February, and the suspects remain in custody. The manslaughter trial against a former babysitter resumed today in London after a several-week adjournment. The trial heard from Rebecca Brown, a caseworker from the Children's Aid Society, who interviewed both parents of 15-month-old Nathaniel McClellan, as well as the defendant, Megan Van Hoof. Brown told the court parents were desperately searching for answers over their child's death. The infant had been at Van Hoof's home daycare and later died from a head injury. Van Hoof has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter. The trial was initially scheduled for a month, but it's now into its 7th week.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. It is a stormy night. The setup for a stormy Thursday's at hand as well. Special weather statement implies that not only are we wet, but there's volatility in the atmosphere. We're talking about thunderstorms that could produce some damaging winds, and it's the rainfall amounts with the special weather statement that stand out. 20 to 50 millimeters. That takes us through Thursday, possibly lingering showers into Friday. It's going to be a very wet next 24 to 48 hours. I'm going to break down the complete weather story, see if there's any relief at hand coming up. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk. Carlyle?
Thanks very much, Gary. A tale of two caucuses on Parliament Hill today. The Liberal government welcomed their newest members who secured them their majority status, while the Conservatives were forced to defend their leader following a rash of defections and this week's by-election results. Abigail Beeman reports.
A hero's welcome for the 3 MPs who secured the Liberals a majority, with newest floor crosser Marilyn Gladu front and center.
What a great group. I'm very excited to start building Canada strong for all.
And a fantastic addition.
Great, lots of love. Great to meet my new colleagues.
The Prime Minister has leaned on the word humility a lot in 24 hours.
We approach it with humility and determination. Canadians have placed their trust in the government's plan. We now have reinforcements to help implement that, and we're going to go straight to work.
But wasn't immune to asking for applause. With the caucus feeling so victorious, they cheered regular old MPs too. A stark contrast with the Conservative caucus in the basement.
Are you worried about the 4 caucus members?
Who leaned on the idea of unity.
Caucus is united and united behind a leader that has a vision.
Our caucus is united behind Pierre Poilievre.
Pierre Poilievre and our Conservative colleagues are the last hope to save our country. That's why we're united.
In the face of 4 floor crossers, not everyone shared their thoughts.
What can Conservatives do to make their message resonate more with Canadians?
While one MP put it simply.
What needs to change for the party to go up in the polls?
More votes.
Poilievre said this week he isn't going anywhere, as the Liberals say they're still talking with potential floor crossers, and everyone wonders about the next move with a razor-thin majority. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Health Canada officials have approved a new needle-free alternative to EpiPens. It's a pocket-sized nasal spray designed to counter severe allergic reactions. With more, here's Andrew Johnson.
In the words of one doctor we spoke with today, this is a game changer for Canadians with severe allergies and for the parents of children who have to carry around an EpiPen.
This is the ability to have a life-saving device available on you that's easy to administer, almost challenging to get it wrong.
Neffy replaces the needle you jab into your thigh with a nasal spray that has a 2.5-year shelf life. The spray is now approved by Health Canada to treat anaphylaxis, the severe reaction millions of Canadians deal with because of allergies to things like peanuts, shellfish, bee stings, or insect bites. When someone goes into anaphylaxis, they may have trouble breathing, their throat or tongue can swell, and their blood pressure can plunge. These allergies may be life-threatening, so it's critical to have medication nearby. One doctor says having this new option is huge.
Carrying a needle-based epinephrine or having this as the only route of delivery causes barriers for people that, 1, don't like needles, 2, don't want to use a needle, or 3, don't want to carry the size that is required for a needle-based device.
The spray should start to appear in pharmacies by summer. Right now, it's only approved for children who weigh more than 30 kilograms, or about 65 pounds. The manufacturer says it will apply for a smaller dose to be approved for smaller kids later this year. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
CTV News has learned at least 2 Canadians are detained at a notorious Florida immigration center deemed Alligator Alcatraz. As Judy Trin reports, one of them had been in custody for months and he's now being deported.
Douglas Dixon is a 61-year-old grandfather. He and his wife moved from Montreal to Southwest Florida in 2005. They raised a family on the Gulf Coast. In 2022, during COVID, he was forced to shutter his smoothie shop and fell behind in income tax payments. He pleaded guilty to tax evasion and was put on a government plan to pay back the money. Since the pandemic, Dixon says he's paid back nearly $20,000, but still owes about $12,000. He was arrested by ICE during a monthly check-in with his probation officer.
There was like 6 or 7 ICE agents up against the wall, put me up, hands in the air, and I was like dumbfounded. You know, I'm shaking like a leaf.
After his arrest, Dixon was taken to Alligator Alcatraz. Human rights organizations say conditions inside the Everglades Detention Center are inhumane. Dixon was kept in a cage with 32 people. Detainees were allowed to shower every 3 days and got 1 hour of yard time every 4 days.
Nobody there is a hardened criminal, if you know what I'm telling you. They are just general, everyday, normal people. I mean, there were no fights amongst each other.
After 9 days at Alligator Alcatraz, Dixon was transferred to another facility. After an online hearing with an immigration judge, Dixon was ordered deported, even though he says he was making his monthly payments.
He's not a criminal. He's not murdered anyone. He's not a drug trafficker. It's just not logical. They've banned him for life. He's not allowed to come back. So not to see his grandkids is going to be very hard. And myself. Sorry.
Douglas Dixon is one of 32 Canadians who have been deported from the U.S. since October. When he gets off the plane in Toronto, he will make his way to Montreal, to a city he has not called home for 21 years. Judy Trin, CTV News, Toronto.
One of the world's longest surviving liver transplant recipients is sharing her story ahead of a major fundraiser in London tomorrow. Rita Ismail has more on her message and the life-saving impact of organ donation.
More than 40 years ago, Heather Fisher and Dr. Bill Wall crossed paths at a critical moment.
I was in ICU at that time, an ICU nurse. I knew what the stats were. They weren't great. But I had no other choice because I was told that I probably wouldn't survive another year. And so I wanted to take every chance I could. And when Dr. Wall offered that to me, I snapped it up.
In 1983, transplant survival rates were still uncertain, but a breakthrough drug was changing everything.
Transplantation was in the doldrums in the 60s and the 70s because of poor results, especially for vital organs like the liver. And it all changed when cyclosporin, the new anti-rejection drug, was discovered. And we were fortunate in London to be at the beginning of that curve and to get the drug before most other centers.
That timing and that team helped Heather become one of the longest surviving transplant patients in Canada. And what followed was a life bigger than survival. She returned to work as a nurse, even assisting in transplant surgeries alongside Dr. Wall. In 2005, she helped bring the World Transplant Games to London, and she climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
There's a book at the top of the mountain, and you get to write a message, and I got to write first liver transplant recipient to climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
Now her story is part of a larger message, a reminder of what's possible through organ donation.
I've had no problems with my liver. It has allowed me to do so many different things. I would not have the life that I've lived if I had not had that transplant.
New Canvas of Life takes place Thursday at RBC Place, featuring artwork from transplant patients like Heather, donors, and local artists. The event supports multi-organ transplant program at London Health Sciences Centre. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
LHSC leadership held their first community update today since announcing hundreds of nursing job cuts in the coming years.
Staffing growth has outpaced patient care growth, creating a gap that is designed to address, and we have to address it responsibly.
The hospital's provincially appointed supervisor says LHSC's workforce has grown 25% since 2019, ahead of outpatient visit growth, which is about 11%. He says that gap will be addressed through attritional means like retirement and voluntary resignations without any layoffs.
This is a very thoughtful and measured approach. It is grounded in data, aligned with peer hospitals, and being implemented gradually. We are not compromising on patient care. We are not reducing any care services, and we have no plans to lay off any staff.
A progress report on London's micro-modular shelter claims the project has successfully reduced encampments and improved the lives of residents. The report reveals the shelter cost $3.3 million to build and requires $288,000 a month to operate. 68 people now live at the site, while 16 residents have left because it wasn't a good fit. The report indicates there's been overall positive feedback from residents who credit improved safety and access to services supporting physical and mental health. Repair work on the historic Kettle Creek Bridge in Port Stanley is winding down. Officials with the Port Stanley Terminal Rail say they've spent more than $300,000 to fix the 118-year-old bridge. The repairs were needed to address erosion issues underneath the bridge, forcing the annual Easter trains cancellation. Officials say they are close to getting those back on track, though.
We had an inspection done in early December with divers, and they discovered that some of the river bottom had been washed out from underneath the abutment. So at that point, we had to make the decision to halt trains and get a crew in here to start fixing it. So it's put us on hold for about 2 months, but we'll actually start running trains on May the 2nd.
2 more headliners were announced today for this year's Rock the Runway Festival. Limp Bizkit and Cypress Hill are the Thursday headliners for the event's second edition. It runs from September 17th to the 19th at the London International Airport. Tickets for the Thursday show go on sale Monday.
Back to face, back to face. Hey, nice shot, nice shot.
When we come back, Forest City Fighters, the MMA series, coming to London, showcasing local talent and the next generation.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. It's the Tee Up with Brent Lail and Brent. Spring season is now underway for high school sports, taking advantage of the turf fields across the region.
Yeah, thank goodness for that turf today in the rain, Carlyle. I went to check out some rugby this morning and catch up with perennial powerhouse, the Medway Cowboys.
Stay in! 4! Yes, sir, Murray! Down, boys, down.
Charles Landry was an absolute beast for the Cowboys in their blowout win over St. Joe's today. He scored 3 early tries in a game which Medway cruised to victory. The Cowboys are a powerhouse in local rugby, winning all but one WASA title going back more than 15 years. They bowed out of OFSA last year to the eventual champs, but this year want more.
We're looking pretty strong. We got a lot of morale already, and they're a good team. Culture, so we're looking pretty strong. Our main goal is defense, and every single year we've been growing, and this year our goal is to lock down on defense once again. If we don't let any tries against us, it's hard for anyone to beat us.
Well, it's a really talented squad, lots of good athletes, but also lots of good rugby players, lots of experience. A couple fifth years that bring that manly edge to them, play sort of a men's game. Our team's built on culture and history, so it's a lot of, we value our past seasons, and we just try and carry that in.
In the Greater Ontario Hockey League, it's the Battle of Highway 7, and a spot in the Sutherland Cup final is on the line.
Yeah, it's 3 games down so far between Stratford and St. Mary's. The Warriors hold a 2-1 lead heading into tonight's Game 4 at the Ulman Arena.
Elzinga waits, fire, scores! Blake Elzinga!
Last night in St. Mary's, trailing 2-0 in the series, the Lincolns dominated with the man advantage, going a perfect 3 for 3 on the power play. They got goals from 6 different scorers in a 6-1 win. Hey, they're right back in this series. They'll look to tie it up tonight.
Now, the Ontario Premier League soccer season is getting underway, and Brent, we both were in St. Thomas on the weekend as Railway City hosted North Mississauga.
Yeah, and what a day it was. Both the men's game and the women's game going to penalties in round 1 of the OPL Cup. For the Railway City women's side, they're looking for promotion to the 2nd division after coming oh so close in their inaugural year. There's Ashley Betancourt opening the season scoring for Railway City, who unfortunately couldn't hold a 2-goal lead in the second half. They eventually would lose on penalties. They're coming off a season where they were a win away from promotion, and the goal is to take that step this year when the regular season begins in a couple of weeks.
We came so close last year. We worked so hard all season, came second in our division. Made it all the way to playoffs, just fell short in our playoff game, but then we're lucky enough to get that promotion game, but we just fell short. We worked so hard that game, and it was an unfortunate loss, but it just makes us even hungrier.
Yeah, we were able to make some additions that would make us a little bit stronger in certain areas. I think it's always challenging with the way the setup of the season is. Beginning of the year, we were missing a few players because they're away at school. End of the year, they go away to school. So those challenges are still there, but I think we've got a little more depth in some positions that might help us get over the line.
And finally, Brent, a new MMA fight series is coming to the Forest City this weekend, pitched as a showcase for the next generation.
Yeah, it's called the Rising Stars Fight Series, and it's being put on by London MMA legends Mark Hominick, Sam Stout, and Chris Hordesky. They're packing the Marconi Club this weekend for the London stop on the provincial tour.
Back to face, back to face. Hey, nice shot, nice shot.
We put together the new show here in town, Rising Stars Fight Series, where we're going to be showcasing some of the top up-and-coming talent.
Chris Hordesky and his partners at Adrenaline MMA, along with Reno Belcastro of Windsor, are bringing sanctioned amateur fights to Ontario.
Our motto is for the fighters, by the fighters. So the guys that are putting this together have all been fighters. We've competed at the highest level. We know what it's like. We've been in the hotels with bed bugs. We've been in the venues where you're scrapping by to get water. So we're going to treat the fighters differently.
It's a true privilege to learn underneath them and for their guidance, their experience. The fact that we can fight in our hometown and have that little bit of comfort on fight day. It's so stressful on fight week and fight day. If you have a little bit more extra comfort on that day being in your hometown, just makes it that much better.
Ingersoll's Braden Todd is a 7-time national champion wrestler who's grappled in 17 countries around the world. He's the main event Saturday against Hector Salazar from Chicago.
They're just trying to do something a little bit different and make us feel a little bit more welcome and like we're a bit more than just amateur athletes.
Over the past 2 decades, Hordesky has seen this sport from all angles: fighter, coach, broadcaster, and ring announcer. Now he's taking on the promotion side.
We're giving these athletes a chance to fight at home, a chance to compete often. We're going to be pumping shows basically on a monthly basis. We're taking the show on the road. We're getting these guys ready for hopefully one day getting into the professional leagues if they so wish to take it there.
1, 2, 3. They're working extremely hard, six days a week, getting ready for this. It's an amateur show, but we're training like professionals over here. We train twice a day. Strength and condition are intact. We're making sure all the bases are covered. We're ready to go.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
And we're saying good evening to Gary Archibald tonight. Gary, it's been another wet day here in London. Story of the weather week so far, it seems.
You're right about that, Carlyle. Good evening, folks. We're talking about rain intermittently this evening through to about, say, 2 a.m. A bit of a break from there. And then around 6, 7, 8 a.m., morning commute, another burst of showers, maybe even some thunderstorms early Thursday. Take a look at the almanac just to give you an idea of norms or averages for daily maximums, minimums. The high today, 22, right? 9 degrees above seasonal. The low itself would be a degree above our average high. So you get an idea, statistically speaking, that we're dealing with very warm, very humid air. It's energized, it's buoyant, it's carrying a lot of moisture. The jet stream support is coming right down through the heart of the Mexican plateau in the Gulf of Mexico. That warm air rises, condenses out into clouds bearing showers and thunderstorms potentially if there's enough instability. And this conveyor belt setup has been with us for the last 24 to say 36 hours. We've gotten into a brush right across the heart of Lake Erie. The worst of it's been over water, but the north shores of Lake Erie, if you will, southwestern Ontario, has been hit hard this afternoon. We got into some rains between 4 and 5 p.m. in the great city of London. We are in the midst of the first wave, now moving out. Then we'll see a second, third wave. I think tomorrow morning's commute, definitely around 8 towards 9 a.m. for the city of London. Further east, that's going to be a wet affair. And with the special weather statement in place for 20 to 50 millimeters, as mentioned at the top of the show, we're talking about localized areas, could see ponding, maybe some flooding, especially if it's low-lying, right? Poor drainage. Notice how we're getting into some brighter shades across the U.S. Central Plains, Upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, Southern Ontario. That means we're in this warm flow. The pattern's with us for at least the next 3, maybe 4 days before things start to cool down. But it's also a warm, humid air mass, hence the clouds producing the showers. By the way, speaking of showers and embedded thunderstorms may be a risk of still exists tonight. I think the probability of showers, 8 through 9, maybe 10, is still high of at least an occurrence or more, with temperatures still very mild. Even through to midnight, we're in the mid-teens. It's going to feel like about 20 to 23 at midnight. That's warm. Take a look at the 7-day forecast. Still looking at a warm next 3 days, but the story really is the volatility in the atmosphere. Showers, thunderstorms, gusty winds, maybe hail. I cannot rule out a tornado risk. Possibly more showers Friday morning, a bit of a break, sunny in the afternoon, still warm, cloudy and wet on Saturday. And then here's where colder air moves in. Could see a spring mix of flurries early Monday morning with a high of only 6. Our average high is 13. The Midwest, it's interesting to see how things will fare a little bit better further north of London and then get cold enough to see a flurries, icy mix for the weekend to start next week. We could see lows below the freezing mark for a couple of mornings. That is still spring weather. Carlyle?
All right, Gary, thanks very much. Still ahead, slashing tolls. The Ambassador Bridge drops the price of crossing the border in the face of incoming competition.
Pure Country 93. London's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's Big 50K Payday.
The federal finance minister says the government will table a spring economic update on April 28th.
This is going to be a plan that is going to help families, it's going to help our industry, it's going to help our nation, Mr. Speaker, to prosper and to obviously bring good news to Canadians across the nation.
The finance minister says the update should give Canadians a better understanding of the country's fiscal position and what's changed since the 2025 budget was tabled in November. At that time, the government predicted the federal deficit would rise to more than $78 billion in the last fiscal year, with smaller deficits forecast through 2030. The Ambassador Bridge is slashing tolls nearly in half for some users. According to a breakdown posted on the bridge website, cars and motorcycles crossing with a Premier Pass will pay $5.50 US to cross, down from $10 US. The cash rate will remain unchanged, $10 US or $14 Canadian. The new rates go into effect on Sunday. Tolls at the yet-to-be-opened Gordie Howe International Bridge have been set at $4.35 US through a membership program. High tolls are believed to be a key reason the Blue Water Bridge in Sarnia has replaced the Ambassador Bridge as the primary crossing between Michigan and Ontario. There's skepticism in some sectors about the long-term impact of the federal government's gas tax break. As Alex Carpa reports, in some industries where heavy fuel use is common, they were already exempt to begin with.
Yeah, so a primary tillage tractor like this holds about 1,000 liters of fuel.
Farmer Kevin Peters spends about $1,500 to fill this tractor, and during busy season, that fuel can be gone in just 24 hours.
Takes a lot of fuel to run big equipment.
Peters says the costs are adding up quickly.
The fuel increase this year could easily add $50,000 for sure to our bottom line.
The Prime Minister's cost-cutting move to excise tax on gas and diesel starts next week. Diesel prices could drop by about 4 cents per liter, but Peters says it won't directly impact his operation.
As farmers, we are already exempt from that tax on our own marked diesel on farm, so our equipment has that exemption.
The trucking industry says while the savings are welcome, the overall impact will be limited.
Everybody helps right now. It's challenging as prices increase. So does it have a large impact? No, but over time, it's going to save everybody a little bit of money.
Economists believe the tax break could slightly lower the cost of transported goods, including food, but it comes with trade-offs.
There will be a large cost to be paid. Both in terms of lost tax revenue as well as environmental damage because people will drive more.
Peters says this temporary cut is a good thing for consumers, but wants to see more supports for farmers like himself to help bring the cost of diesel down. Alex Carpa, CTV News in Randolph, Manitoba.
New research suggests Canada's aging population is starting to downsize, potentially creating more opportunities for younger home buyers. According to RE/MAX Canada data, a long-term downsizing wave is underway. However, the survey findings suggest the shift will happen gradually because of limited availability. RE/MAX officials say about 2/3 of people 65 or older report low or no availability of smaller homes in their communities. Technology stocks once again pushed Canada's main stock index into positive territory. The TSX gained 54 points. In New York, the Dow lost 72. The Nasdaq added 377. The Canadian dollar up 0.06 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold dropped more than $26 an ounce. Oil fell 6 cents a barrel. Coming up, cost recovery for the World Cup. Why a FanFest event in Toronto went from free admission to a pricey ticket. Welcome back. Conservationists pushed back at City Hall Tuesday against a developer's plan to build 4 high-rises on Commissioners Road near the Westminster Ponds.
We're very excited by the opportunity to develop this site and build several hundred rental housing units.
There are so few beautiful areas of London left. We do not need to burn down what little remains of the forest city to keep corporate landlords warm.
I think that it should be maintained as open space. The Westminster Ponds area is the largest environmentally significant area in London.
Auburn Developments has proposed 4 14-story apartment buildings on Commissioners Road west of Adelaide. Current zoning for the site actually permits industrial development to the edge of the environmentally significant area. So the mayor suggested the planning committee accept the developer's proposal, placing the buildings close to the road and donating land at the rear of the property to expand the Westminster Ponds ESA.
The reality of today is this site can be developed in a way that you probably would disagree with more. And if there's an opportunity for us to absorb a good portion of this site through a development agreement that allows for some density into the city's hands and expand the ESA and protect that portion of it that's transferred to the city forever, that's not a bad pathway moving forward.
City councillors might consider enacting a tenant assistance and relocation program when affordable rental units are demolished, making way for new development.
As we continue to see and support growth and intensification in the city, I believe we also have a responsibility to ensure that the people calling these places homes are not left behind in this process.
Councillor Skylar Frank says tenants of relatively affordable apartment buildings have few protections if their landlord decides to demolish their home for redevelopment. Other cities in Ontario require landlords to offer financial compensation, moving expenses, rent top-ups, or the right to return at a similar rent. The Planning Committee asked staff to prepare a report with options for early next year. The City of Toronto is changing the cost of admission for this summer's World Cup FanFest. It was initially advertised as a free event, but as Heather Wright reports, that's no longer going to be the case.
A little more than 57 days until the World Cup kicks off in Toronto. Now a proposed change to Toronto's FanFest is drawing the ire of some.
That is kind of crazy that they're charging $10 per person to go to a public event in a public space.
The City of Toronto has proposed a $10 charge for admission to FanFest, which was initially billed as a free event. More expensive VIP ticket options will be available. City staff are asking for council approval to spend $9 million to improve the fan experience and boost security, but those additional funds would push Toronto over budget. Charging for FanFest helps recoup some of those costs and, according to the mayor, allows for better planning.
Ticketing actually gives organizers and emergency services better data to plan effectively.
For some, charging admission is not a concern.
It's a small price to pay. I'm not too bothered by it.
While others say it's just the latest example of a costly tournament inaccessible to the people paying to host it.
It's a barrier, not everyone's going to be able to attend.
The budgets for Toronto and Vancouver to host 13 World Cup games have ballooned since Canada, the United States and Mexico were first awarded the tournament. In 2023, Vancouver's budget was estimated at $230 million and now stands at roughly $624 million. In 2018, the initial cost for Toronto to host was between $30 and $45 million, surging to $380 million. The costs to host the tournament are being split between the three levels of government, but Toronto City Councillor Josh Matlow says the provincial and federal governments will recoup some costs through taxes, which the city will not.
One of the promises that were made to the people of Toronto was that there was going to be a fan fest where they could go for free, no matter their financial means, and that's now being taken away from them.
Toronto is not the only World Cup city to change plans when it comes to FanFest. Other cities have announced scaled-back versions to help reduce costs, while New York and New Jersey, which will host the World Cup final, have scrapped their FanFests altogether. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
The Toronto Blue Jays are trying to string some wins together after a come-from-behind victory in Milwaukee last night.
Guerrero lines it deep left field, and it's off the base of the wall.
The Jays gave up a lead in the bottom of the ninth, but they scored 3 times in the top of the 10th inning, holding on for a 9-7 win. First pitch for tonight's game in Milwaukee set for 7:40 p.m.
Let's take a look at our CTV News weather snapshot. It's a beauty thanks to Kay Lang presenting in this image. Not so beautiful. The weather over the next 2 to 3 days with heavy rain anticipated, embedded thunderstorm activity. There's potential of even thunderstorms producing tornadoes across southern Ontario proper over the next 24 to 48 hours. That possibility exists. Of course, flooding and ponding on area roads a concern, as this deluge of rain will be the weather story the next few days.
A post-secondary institution in Toronto has announced another round of layoffs, citing declining enrollment, the latest example of a cash flow crisis at Canada's post-secondary schools linked to the federal cap on international students. Adrian Gobriel reports.
A painful reality check for one of the largest colleges in the country.
As a student, it's very concerning.
Toronto's George Brown Polytechnic has issued layoff notices for 82 employees following 51 terminations just last month.
If we keep cutting international students, then everything might go down.
In an email, the college says, like many post-secondary institutions, we continue to face financial pressures, largely driven by changes to international student policies introduced by Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada. The cash flow crisis is being felt at colleges as well as universities across the country.
Canada's falling behind in the global competition for the people that we really need to drive our economy.
As the federal government reduces the number of non-permanent residents, new Canadian student visas for post-secondary studies dropped off 64% last year. In 2023, there were more than 430,000 new post-secondary study permits approved in Canada. That dropped to 209,000 in 2024, and again in 2025 to just over 75,000, marking the lowest total in the last decade. As concerns mount that this could lead to Canadian educated staffing shortages for vital economic sectors, the CEO of Universities Canada believes a national talent strategy is essential to entice the world's best and brightest young minds to come to school here in Canada.
Imagine a company that didn't have an HR plan. Well, as a country, that's what we are. And the only way you can build that right now in Canada is if you get provincial governments and federal governments around the same table.
Here in Ontario, OPSU says that roughly 10,000 post-secondary education jobs were either impacted or eliminated at 24 colleges across the province this past year. Adrian Gobro, CTV News, Toronto.
Officials in Ontario's education ministry say just 40% of high school students attended class at least 90% of the time last school year. That represents a drop of nearly 20% from the 2017-18 school year. The data also shows just 33% of grade 12 students show up for class at least 90% of the time. On Monday, government officials announced measures to boost high school attendance, saying it'll soon account for up to 15% of a student's final grade. Chatham-Kent councillors approved another $250,000 in their legal fight against a planned waste processing site in Dresden.
I've never experienced something that is so unanimous as far as not wanting it there. Like everyone you speak to, everyone says, no, we don't want it there.
Provincial officials have cleared the way for York One Environmental Waste Solutions to repurpose the site into a landfill with a bill passed last June. The legislation gives government authorities the power to waive municipal laws for select projects. York One officials say they're moving forward in the face of sharp and sustained pushback from the community. Chatham-Kent's mayor says the legal funds will help the municipality fight a lawsuit from York One asserting the municipality's zoning authority. A court date has been set for September 21st.
We still don't know what they're going to be building there. They've been vague in saying it's going to be this or this. They have not put out anything as to what they're doing there. Certainly, from my perspective, this is something that should not be happening in the community. It's resounding.
Police in the Halton region are warning about a so-called Assassin's game gaining traction online. Police say the game involves kids pretending to hunt each other with water guns or Nerf-style toys. However, they say some of those toy guns can closely resemble real weapons, and they've received calls from concerned citizens. They're discouraging the game and asking parents to talk to their kids about the risks of playing with realistic weapons. Finally tonight, a Canadian company capitalizing on the nostalgic appeal of vinyl records. It's become big business in the music industry again, with up to $1 billion in sales just last year. With more, here's Stéphane Giroux.
At Drummond Vinyl in Drummondville, staff can't keep up with the demand for records.
I call it a digital detox. It creates a moment, which I think that digital world cannot compete against, because when you put a vinyl on, all of a sudden everything is aligned with this. You need to, switch side at some point, and then you just put the needle on, and so it's about a moment.
Musicians Jeff Beaulieu and Alex Henry Foster launched a company 3 years ago out of necessity for their own bands.
For us, it was not about a market and a demand. It was because we realized that we wanted to do our own vinyls and that we needed to wait a whole year to do it, which we couldn't afford because you need to go on the road.
Drummond Vinyl isn't the only one. Pressing plants are opening up all over Canada.
I think it brings all age groups to the record stores. There are people who are 10 years old. There are people that are 80 years old in line. We've seen it all over the last 18 years.
April 18th is Record Store Day, where labels, big and small, push rare limited edition reissues. Canadian classic rock band Honeymoon Suite is reissuing one of its records because there's a new generation curious about vinyl.
I think people just got tired of streaming and listening to compressed MP3 files that don't really sound that great. What can I say? My son is 28 years old, and he's totally into vinyl.
This year's Record Store Day will come with a twist. That's because record stores say there's one artist that everyone is looking for.
Well, at the moment, there's a Quebec band called Angine de Poitrine.
It's clearly the two records from Angine de Poitrine.
Angine de Poitrine is a Quebec avant-garde band that exploded onto the international stage in recent weeks. Drummond Vinyl was tasked with fulfilling the demand.
I've never seen anything like that from my own eyes with that kind of music happening here. So for us to be first part of it was incredible. What a huge privilege to be involved in that incredible success.
For artists and fans, it's the kind of excitement they haven't seen since the days everyone assumed that vinyl was dead. Stéphane Giroux, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.